These are some of the most beautiful paintings of London ever made. They are by the French Impressionist artist Claude Monet. Over the course of 3 long stays in London in 1899, 1900 and 1901, Monet created almost 100 paintings of views of the Thames, which he later finished in his studio in Giverny. They focused on 3 sites: Charing Cross Bridge, Waterloo Bridge and the Houses of Parliament. Now, this was an ambitious project by an artist who was already well established. Monet was turning 60 years old at the time. No longer a penniless and struggling artist, he stayed in the capital's most lavish hotel, the Savoy, which had opened a decade earlier. From here, Monet had magnificent views of the city around him, though he found painting the changeable British weather a struggle. "Today the weather was maddening," he once wrote. "Gusts of snow, then sunshine, fog and dark weather, and clear. It was magnificent, but all too changeable." The paintings which he created were unveiled in Paris in 1904, and Monet desperately wanted to show them in London the following year, but plans fell through. They have never been the subject of a UK exhibition until now, here at the Courtauld Gallery, so it's thrilling to see Monet's vision of a London exhibition finally coming to life. And it's certainly worth the wait. Here is one of my favourites, titled "London, the Houses of Parliament, Shaft of Sunlight in the Fog." You can see it's signed and dated 1904. At the top of the canvas we have this fiery setting sun bursting through the fog, or the mysterious cloak as Monet put it, and this light landing on the dark water of the Thames and turning its surface warm tones of red and orange and gold. It's a sharp contrast with the navy and purple silhouette of the Palace of Westminster. And when you look really closely, you can see how almost every colour of the spectrum has been used here. And Monet uses quite thick paint in places, which is a technique known as impasto. And although these works capture the beautiful bridges and grand buildings of London, that's not really the true subject matter here. Like Turner, Monet was more interested in the envelope of air wrapping a landmark, rather than the building itself. What Monet was really interested in was capturing something much more fleeting: the weather, the mist, the delicious fog as he described it, and how light dances upon it or through it, those brief moments where the sun shimmers on a wave in a particular way and then disappears a second later, never to be seen again. It was those passing moments which Monet sought to capture forever and record on canvas. So it's pretty exciting to think that we're not just looking at a view of London here, but a view of London specifically seen through the eyes of Monet in a particular moment 120 years ago. So to look at one of these canvases, we are sharing that moment with him across time. Indeed, when seeing these works on display in Paris, reviewers at the time were intrigued. They called them mist pictures. They said it is as if the painter had put all the glow of the sky above the House of Parliament and then covered them with a neutral ghostly tone of a white mist until only the most brilliant spots of colour could be distinguished, and then only as suggestions. Of course, you might be thinking, isn't this all rather a romantic view of a city shrouded in pollution, with warehouses and chimneys coated in a veil of soot? One English artist, Winford Dewhurst, felt that these were rose-tinted views of the capital. The autumnal fogs, Dewhurst wrote, were a deadly infliction for the residents, but for the visiting artist, they provided a beautiful filter for the city. They harmonise discordant tones, round off harsh outlines, cloak the ugly, and create the beautiful. Nevertheless, all art is an interpretation of sorts, and it is credit to Monet that in a city of soot and pollution, he was able to see the beauty, to capture these ethereal scenes, to create this visual poetry. This exhibition, Monet and London, Views of the Thames, is on at the Courtauld Gallery, which is in Somerset House in London, until the 19th of January 2025. If you'd like to glimpse into London at the turn of the 20th century and view this magnificent city through the eyes of one of the greatest artists who's ever lived, you better not miss it.